Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
Me ma wakwa edeba PENDREAM TV me so say any day they can out and I subscribe to channel no click bell so say the news to also say between can in term no wetie. I am asa Kwesi Pratt na no pay good morning Ghana so abeka safa VAT ECG VAT aban person de to nkania so taxes aban person de to nkania so na ochema aban we deceptive like or deceive Ghana for instance aban we opposition eka say omoba nuisance tax NDC for the Ghana for nyina so no omba be twetwe na so ne ne hu ye ba taxes bebre na omode abewu Ghana for so ama Ghana for bre enti say obi a no believe in nuisance tax no ti akonya so enti ode propaganda e betu ni face so na say na wo aba na so impose still nuisance tax say emission smoke emission tax me say ECG VAT tax your person de beya then it means we need to vote you away na no na Oditu Jawo good morning Ghana so MPP communicator no also no afide onhu de obeka na o kire mu say no de Ghana for na so mu decide ben kasa bebre na yanko ne nkotie kwan Kwesi Pratt de ne nsem fa so.
It's very simple. It's not complicated at all. If you have a stinking sore and you plaster over it, the stinking sore doesn't go away. It remains. That's the point I'm making. You understand? What we are doing is just plastering over the sore. And that's a problem because we're posting all these figures knowing fully well that realistically, this is not the current situation.
But yeah.
Can I just make
yes.
a few points? That this is not the current situation. There's an element of deception. There's an element of raising false hopes and so on. But even more serious is the point that Randy was trying to make. Here are a group of people who say that this is the solution to the problem. You come up and argue that that is not the solution, and that what they put up as a solution will lead the country to disaster. 7 years later, you come to accept that the solution you rejected is the correct solution. Why should you continue to be in charge of the management?
No, but
isn't it just? Can I finish?
Okay,
can I finish?
Right.
Isn't it just logical? Isn't it just sensible for those who believed in those measures to take over from you?
No.
Because when you rejected the measures,
yeah, but then so we've gone into the realms. We've gone into the realms of politicking. That's fine.
No, this is not
but the point is
politicking.
that those are decisions.
This is logic. This is economics.
It is not.
This is governance.
Right. It is not logic because that determination will be made by the Ghanaian people.
Kwesi, what
right?
I wanted
because
to,
at the end of that determination.
Kwesi, what I wanted to raise with you on the issue of the plastering is that if you look at the DDEP, essentially, it is both plastering and some treatment. What do I mean? When government achieves a haircut, for example, it is a form of forgiveness. It's not total forgiveness, but there's a certain percentage that it is yanking off its debt. I'm saying if he achieves that.
But even I would totally disagree with your diction.
No problem.
Haircut is an imposition.
No,
forgiveness is something which is willingly given.
Okay, so I understand the point you're making. The effect of what I said was that, okay, so I should say debt reduction, not forgiveness, reduction. That the haircut leads to a certain reduction.
With consequences.
Oh, yes.
Lack of faith in the banking system.
Oh, yeah.
All kinds of things.
I mean, there will be consequences.
With serious consequences for the national economy.
But all I'm saying is that if you look at the whole strategy, it points to the fact that, if we succeed, we'll be able to reduce our debt burden up to this point.
And create another problem.
Yes.
We can exacerbate our debt situation.
How our economic performance will be when all the postponements face us, the reality of the postponement face us, is another issue that nobody is really discussing.
But don't you think that we should?
Oh, yeah.
We should.
Oh, yeah.
And we should because You see, after posting this,
if you go and drink,
just imagine.
If you go and drink aquatation, you have issues.
Yeah.
So give me quarter, make I forget my problems. When a tea issue and you wake up, the problems will come.
Exactly. But there's even a more serious problem of governance. These figures are being posted today, giving the impression of a reviving economy and so on. Just in case, and I'm not saying that NPP should lose the election, that's not what I'm saying. But just in case, one possibility, the NPP has lost the election. There's a new government which wants to treat the store rather than plaster over it. That government is in trouble for no fault of its.
Yes.
Because all these figures, my friend, in a matter of 2 months, crisis will hit everybody in the face. You understand? So it is within this context that we have to be honest in this discussion. It is within this context that we have to question the figures. It is within this context that we have to engage in a discussion having the future in mind. Because this really, I mean, in strong language, and I hate using strong language, but this really in strong language amounts to deception.
Randy, for me, I think that there's no deception here. Because, I mean, so you made reference to government's own economic statement when he went to read the budget, and the finance minister read the budget, and the finance minister stated categorically what the DDEP and the debt management is meant to achieve, right? And said that it was meant to do a number of things, get the economy back on a certain trajectory, engender confidence in the economy, reduce inflation, stabilize the exchange rate, do all of these things. How can that be a deception? You know what I'm saying? It's not a deception. Yes, you can still have challenges, and I have sat here and admitted that, yes, it doesn't mean that this points to an economy that is totally out of the rut. But we have been making consistent progress, right? And we need to build on that to be able to achieve the gains and sustain the gains. Now, if you do that, then you're basically expanding your economy to a point where you can more responsibly deal with the debt conversation. You understand? Because as you're actually having growth and you have an increase in your GDP and you've created some kind of fiscal space going forward, then you're able to deal with some of these challenges over a period. Otherwise, if you go into a total collapse or there's a total a recession, then you're actually coming from ground zero, which is also totally difficult. Because at that point,
why will you take us there in the first
place?
But
the point is that
look at our debts in the debts in even the electricity subsector of the energy sector. Look at the debts, and we keep postponing the payment. If the people threaten, then we'll find something small for them. We're waiting until this thing gets bust one day. And the debts keep increasing. They keep increasing every single day. They keep increasing. We go and create a water. What was it called? Waterfall mechanism. It's not working. And they will do. One of them will come and threaten. We won't do this. They will stop something, which will create some shortages. We go and sit down with them. We find something small. We give to them. What kind of blue kiosk management is that?
But really, it's even worse. You took power at a time. When some funds have been ring-fenced to cater for energy sector debts.
You mean ESLA?
ESLA. What did you use ESLA for?
For other things.
For other things.
Yeah. Collateralize it and use it for other things.
Exactly. You've created this huge problem for us, and then you turn around and say pay more taxes so that we can deal with the recklessness, with the effects of the recklessness of using ESLA for other purposes. You understand? You create the problem. And then you turn around and ask poor electricity consumers to bear the burden. How can you do that to us? How can you do that to us and then turn around and tell us that this is prudent management of the economy? If this is prudent management of the economy, everybody can manage this economy.
But you see, under the circumstance, with the hole we find ourselves in, is there any other way?
There are many ways.
I'm saying under the circumstance,
Yes,
with the whole we find
yes,
ourselves
yes,
in.
yes.
Is there any other way?
Yeah, we have to bite the bullet
Which is?
and begin a fundamental restructuring of the economy.
That's long term.
No, it's not long term. Look at what happened in Niger, okay, after the coup. Just by changing the regime for the extraction and exportation of this material, uranium, the Nigerian economy, within 4 months, became the fastest growing economy in the world. Restructuring. Fastest growing economy in the world. From where? From the poorest country in the world to the fastest growing economy in the world. Now, rather than learn important lessons from what is happening in Niger, Burkina Faso, and other places, we are cocking our guns to go and kill their leaders. I mean, unbelievable. Look at the strides that these coup-led countries have chalked within a period of 6 months. If I were a West African leader and so on, the most important thing to do is to study what is happening in those countries, learn the important lessons so that we can get out of this quagmire.
Will those things be sustainable? History tells us that sometimes you've seen some of these things, they happen 6 months, 1 year, and they turn out to be blips.
Randy, I'm not going to argue with you. Let us say that they are not even sustainable. The measures we are implementing, are they sustainable?
No.
And in fact, the measures we are implementing are more visibly unsustainable than the reforms that are taking place in the coup-led, countries. You understand? What is the sense in cocking our guns and threatening to go and shoot in Niger, rather than learning the important lessons from their strategy?
We want to promote multi-party democracy. The whole of West Africa agrees that there is a way of changing governments, even if you are not happy about the performance of a government. And we want to promote that. We want to support that. We want everybody to agree that even if you disagree with the government, no matter how abysmal you think a government is performing, you can criticize and everything. But the last thing you want to do is to interrupt the democratic dispensation. You would have your opportunity when it's time to go to the polls.
Randy,
and if you disagree, go and change the government.
Randy, fine English. And I'm not going to vehemently argue with that. Because I also ran the risk of appearing to be supporting coup d'etats. I ran that risk. I know that. I know the risk that I'm running. But here is the case. We are going to Kumasi. We boarded the vehicle. The driver, as you drive past Caprice, stops by a blue kiosk and takes a bottle of a petition. You see the driver staggering. You see the driver completely out of control and so on. If you sit in that bus and argue that, oh, this is the driver, until he has crashed us, we are not going to change the driver and so on, you are a fool. Randy, you are a complete fool.
You can get out of the bus.
Because that driver will certainly crash you.
You can get out of the you can get out of the bus and decide not to board the bus to the destination. You can get out. What you cannot do is to go and beat up the driver.
No, you won't beat up the driver. You put him aside.
And do what?
But that's somebody's commercial vehicle. You drive a commercial vehicle.
Hold on. Look, this is Ghana. Ghana is the bus. All of us are owners of that bus, Ghana.
Yes.
We are not going to get out of that bus because the driver is drunk. That is my bus. That is your bus. That's the difference.
But we've all agreed.
Yes.
We've all agreed.
Yes, that the driver can drive to Kumasi.
That, yes,
so
that,
even if it's intoxicated to the most stupid level, we should allow.
That's what we have agreed.
Some agreements are not in our interest, and some agreements need to be.
Randy.
Because my point is that when it comes to coup and others, it is not as if there's a referendum and majority say that we approve of that. A group of people sit somewhere and they think that that is what people want, and they decide to go and do it.
Randy,
that's the difference.
Randy, I would applaud you. I would applaud you loudly for your apparent commitment to some form of democracy. You understand?
That's what I've signed up to.
No, don't worry. Don't worry at all. But all three of us know that so-called democracy is so shambolic, it's unbelievable.
That's another conversation. It's another conversation. We can have another conversation about that.
That people are expressing their true will and so on. It's false.
Well, but that's another conversation.
And I'll give you one example. Just one example. Look, there was the MPP primaries last Saturday.
Yes.
There's one candidate, I'm sure you have read it.
That Eric didn't participate in.
No, who says that? Who says that? Look, this thing was a contest about the weight of your pocket.
Oh, true.
He had stockpiled his resources in the bank and was waiting for the last minute to go and withdraw those resources to use in the competition. You understand? What happens? He goes to the bank, he's told that his bank account has been frozen. So he's prepared for even the money contest. He can't because his bank account has been frozen. The day after the election, 2 days after the elections, he goes to the bank, the account has been defrozen. This is your democracy.